Hey everyone, I'm Almar of almarsguides.com, and in this video here is part 2 of my Valheim Building series where I'm teaching you how to be a better builder in this game. So in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to use reinforced iron beams and what is the other one? Bars? Beams and poles. I'm going to teach you how to use both of them properly. So as we can see here, this is a building I'm working on. I have some of the walls up already, as you can see, and I also have some of the walls taken down, as you can see, and I have the whole entire foundation laid out. So the foundation being laid out is the big start point here. You need a proper foundation laid out before you set up your iron bars because you need to know where they go. And it's also important that if you're adding, like if you've already built a building and you realize at the end of your construction that you need to add reinforced iron bars, that's okay. You can still do it. You just have to do it how I'm doing it to get the most stability out of it. And I'll explain as I go, but let me start so you're not just here as you watching as you get like a hour-long explanation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this right in the crack so it touches two stone walls at a time. As you can see, it'll be in between two stone walls, just like that. That way it gives the stability to both of the stone walls instead of just one. That's what I want. Also, it's important that the iron is touching the ground because it will get the maximum stability that it possibly can by touching the ground. If you say, for example, if you started your iron up here like this and on top of, hold on, let me, on top of this piece of stone, see how the iron starts as green? Light green, actually. It's not a darker green as you would expect from it being not too far off the ground. Now let me do it here. See how this is a darker green? Actually, it's kind of the same shade of green. So let me go up one more time here. See if it changes. What I'm trying to teach you though is when you start with the iron on the ground, it will start with a higher stability than if you start it on top of a piece of stone like this. Like you can see, in my opinion at least, this one is darker that I'm looking at now than this one right here. This one is a lot lighter of a green shade to me. Maybe it's just my eyes, maybe I'm tripping myself out, but in my honest opinion, that looks like a lighter green. And I will show you too as we go on as well. Let me, I'll stack this up a little more and we'll put a few more iron on top of this. Now, this building here, what I'm adding this iron for is my intention is to make it very tall. It's not going to be, it's going to be, I think, at least like 10 2x1 stone walls tall. So that's what I need the iron for. And I don't need actually as much, I don't need too much iron. So as you can see, this one's almost yellow up there. And let's check this one. Still a nice dark green. So that's the difference in stability when you start on the ground versus starting on something that is not perfectly stable. So since my goal here is to build this iron up only like maybe 10, 15, I'm not going to use an insane amount of it. So what I'm going to do is we'll do another one here. And we'll do one more right here for the front of the building. It doesn't have to be perfectly positioned between the two, but it does make it is a bit helpful if you do get it in there. Oopsies. Let me move this a little bit over. Alrighty, now for this, we're going to do another one here. I'm actually doing a skimpy amount of iron because I want to test the limits to see how little iron I can get away with using. So I would normally probably do about twice as much, but right now, like I said, we're gonna do a skimpy amount because I want to push my limits a bit. And this is going to be all I use for this building. And what we're going to do is we're going to stack it a few times to give myself some room. And then we're going to go around and we're going to use... damn it, I'm sliding off those stone. And we're going to use some stone walls. We're going to start building the stone walls, adding to it. Because we're going to start building up, which is exactly what we need. Like I said, this building is going to be a... essentially what I'm making here is a villa. So it's going to be like 2 buildings side by side with a hallway in between. And they're kind of small buildings, but they're going to be somewhat tall. Need my stamina back. And about halfway up here, we're going to be doing a second floor. And that will not actually need, because this building is only a 5x5 building, I'm not going to need to build anything aside from stone arches to hold the second floor in. Grab a little bit more stone. For what it's worth, I am using codes right now that increase my weight because I don't feel like taking up all of your time as I build. So if you see me picking up an unusually high amount of stone, that is why. Oopsies. So now we're kind of at the stage where you're just watching me as in between me giving you actually tips and tricks, but I'll promise you we're getting there. Basically what we're doing is we're just building it up, and we'll be able to when you are building your own building, you'll be able to check the durability and the stability as you go. Worst comes to worst, if you're bored at this point, just skip ahead a couple minutes and you'll be able to see the progress I've made and get a probably the tips that I give at the end of the video whenever I build up as high as I need to go. I do think where I have the iron now, I'll be just fine as far as building up goes. I just have to, I'll use this as the test right here, this one. So long as I have better stability than that, we should be good. Now, it is worth mentioning I'm never going to connect these iron bars. I will teach you what to do, though, if you were going to. That is actually something that I can take a moment to teach you, and then I can actually end the lesson because there is nothing else to see aside from building the floor. So let's say that this building was wider than a 5x5 and you needed to build a floor. But in order for the floor to properly balance itself, you needed to use iron. So this is what you would do. Say where the iron is right now is where you want to build that floor. Now you may notice that the iron is a little bit uneven because where I placed it on the floor down below or on the ground down below wasn't perfectly even. So what you would need to do is get your iron up to the height you want it to be at. Or rather, get your floors up to the walls, sorry. Messing myself up. To the height that you want them to be at. So this, let's say this is the height that I wanted the second floor at, which is probably about accurate anyway. Usually I do it 7 off the ground, and I don't know how high we are up right now, but we're probably pretty close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Technically, we're like 8 off the ground, so I would do the floor 1 below, but this be fine. So look around at all of the iron, how it is now, and all of them are kind of the good height. This one right here, though, is pretty spot on. Now, what I would do is I would do stone arches like this around the entire side. Technically, I would have to... Well, actually, if we're doing... yeah, okay. We would have to put down one more level like this if we were doing the stone arches on where it is, because we need to get the stone tile on the inside like that. So, let me figure this out real fast. Figure out how to get back up there, that is. So, if we were doing it on this, on the inside, you would need to make the iron stick out like this iron is here. You would build the wall around it just like this, and then you would only make one iron piece stick out like this. And then you use this as your basically launching off point. And what I mean by that is, see how all the iron is a different height? You don't want that. That'll make it confusing and disorienting. You want it all to be the same height. So you pick one launching off point like this, and then you basically just build it out. Let me actually show you a better representation, because we'll build it all the way across. You would build it all the way across to the other side like this. And sometimes you'll run into it where, like, if I build another one, it would be protruding out the end. So what you would do is you would just do this. You would basically stick it on there and turn it like this, so that it would end in the wall, just like this. And you would basically, wherever your floor was weak and it needed that reinforced iron, that's what you would do. And it doesn't really matter how you do it. Like, you can make it look all wonky. Like, you can do it like this if you want, to cover up as much distance as possible. And it would be completely okay, because the floor will cover up all of this. If the floor is high enough, which it is not actually, but that is that's fine too. That's something we could fix. We would just, oh, never mind, I screwed it up. That's why the floor was off. That's funny. There we go. Now it's inside the floor. That's it. That's what I wanted. And then you could build the entire floor like this. And my hammer broke, but you should be able to get the drift. See how it would be inside the floor, the reinforced iron would hold up the floor, and everything would be all hunky-dory. And obviously I won't need to use reinforced iron for this building, because it's only, 5 by 5. I'm just going to use stone arches, and I'll be fine with that. But that's all there is to it. That is how to build with reinforced iron. Or at least the first lesson I can give you as far as building with reinforced iron goes. There's a bit more I can show you with reinforced iron and teach you, and I may make a video in the future detailing that. But that's all for now. Hopefully this video helped you guys out, and I will catch you guys around in future Valheim videos. Peace.